All right.
Oh, a little
nice.
bigger.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful. Oh, and he got off.
Unbuttoned.
That was good, though. Good scrapper.
Good, well lasted.
Hey, there's a few moving on the shoal. It's a good sign. And again, now we should talk a little bit about the chronomid.
Sure.
The economist. What is it now?
Well, I put on a small, about a 14 maroon with a bright copper rib.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
That was a nice one. Oh, gee. On the little guy. Yeah.
And you've got a little 14 on too.
And I've got a little 14 on.
With
One that you just gave me.
Just gave a little silver maroon, and we changed flies for you because after that fish we pumped,
Yeah.
that's the fly that was in his gut.
The fly you said, and we looked at it, and we showed everybody the vial. And
There you
that's
go.
exactly what was in it. Nice little chironomid with the nice red strip and the gray body. Killer. Unreal. So I think after we get this guy in, what do you say? We go to the bench and we'll tie one of these flies up.
I think we should.
Yeah,
we might need an extra one.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, this guy's tough.
They're mean, aren't they?
Oh, they're nasty fish. Well, I'll get this guy up. He's fighting good.
There we go.
Should we give this guy a little pump too?
I think we should.
Okay.
I'll let him.
I'll let you do the honors and I'll get him up. He's a nice fish.
Good fish.
Okay, so I'll give him that. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
we'll do a throw pump on this one.
I think so.
Don, and just
Okay.
a close up, and the viewers can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what I've got is a little what's marketed as a stomach pump, but actually what we're doing is only sampling the last few food items in the throat of the fish.
Okay.
So really, it is a throat pump, and not a stomach pump.
Okay, and people should really pay attention because you were telling me before, if you don't do this properly, you can really damage
That's
the
right.
fish.
Yeah, and so, yeah, used improperly, you can kill a fish. And if you do it on real small fish, you can kill a fish. So
Okay.
usually 12 inches or more to pump a fish.
General rule?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just get
Sure, I'll
that net
give
in
you
the
net.
water.
Okay.
What you want to do is first get this fish quiet, and you can really calm them down by holding them upside down.
Exactly.
In the
We
water.
try to stress that a lot.
Take your throat pump, squeeze it in the water, get it well lubricated, but get the water out of the pump. So there's
No water in the
you don't want to be doing that into the fish.
Okay.
So it's wet. You just slide it in till you feel it narrowing of the esophagus,
Okay.
and see the bulb stays depressed.
Yeah.
Because you've got a bit of a vacuum created. And I'm just gonna. I didn't get a good one there, so I'm gonna go back in.
So make sure no water's in the
No,
pump
nope.
and have it depressed.
Have it
Okay.
depressed. Slide it in. Recreate the vacuum. There you go. That's all there is
That's
to
it.
it. And then we can let the fish go.
All right. That's a nice fish.
Yep, he's happy.
Healthy size. All right.
So now we got the guys in the
Sample.
sample, and we can just. So we got a
Oh,
whole.
look at the scud.
Yeah, this guy was eating shrimp.
Was he ever?
Shrimp and a few chironomids.
And there you go. That tells you the whole story of the fish.
You
What
bet.
he's feeding on, how it'll change through the day. So if you're, if it starts slowing down, maybe the fish has changed his diet
Yeah,
to
yeah.
something else.
I like to pump every third or fifth fish I catch, and because especially when we're fishing chironomids, during the day they may switch 3 colors. They go little green ones in the morning to small black ones to little maroon ones, and fish aren't colorblind, so you've got to pay attention to what's going on.
That's awesome. Well, geez, we've had such a great day today. I cornered you out there and said you're going to have to come in and tie up that fly that we're catching all the fish on. What is it called?
We're going to tie up a maroon bead-headed chironomid.
Okay. Everybody make sure you have these materials ready before you tie this fly. We're going to tie the fly on a TMC 2457 size 12 scud pupa hook. We're going to use some 8/0 maroon thread. We'll use some red copper wire for the tag, some maroon frostbite for the body. For the rib, we'll tie in some red copper wire. For the thorax, we'll use some peacock herl, a silver tungsten bead for the bead, and some white antron for the gills. All right, let's start with the tie.
Okay, Don, we'll lay down a base of maroon tying thread
Okay.
to start off with. Actually, we're just going to tie it in right at the head of the fly because we're going to slip on the gills first and then the bead over that.
Oh, okay.
Then we're going to take our white antron, chop off a bit, and then pull some off. We want a pretty prominent white gills out front.
Okay.
So we're going to tie that in, trim it. and then we're gonna tie it off with a whip finisher.
Okay.
Take the fly out of the hook, and we've already debarbed the hook.
Okay.
So, and then we're gonna slip the bead over, and the beads have got a wide end and a narrow end. You want to slide the wide end over first. Then we're gonna retie our maroon thread behind the bead. And because the material, the frostbite we're going to use is pretty thin, we're going to use the tying thread to build up the body a bit.
Okay.
Okay, then we're going to tie in our pretty bright red copper wire. So
Is that fine?
yeah, it's the fine copper wire. Okay. And then we're going to take our frostbite, and it's a multi-stranded filaments of plastic. That's all this. So we want to pull some of the strands out, give it a bit of a tug.
Okay.
And it'll straighten out a little bit. And we're going to tie it in at the end of the hook. And then we're just going to work the frostbite body.
Gives it a nice sparkly body,
Yep.
doesn't it?
You want, the reason why frostbite works so well is because it gives a nice sheen to the fly, which imitates the gases that trap under the abdomen and thorax.
Okay.
So once that's finished, we've tied the fly off now behind the bead. We take our red copper wire, and you want to make 3 or 4 wraps as a tag before you start the rib. And the rib is going in the opposite direction that the frostbite was wound down. And I've got about 7 or 8 wraps here. And now we're ready just to, you could finish the fly now without a collar, but it's always nice to put a bit of a collar of the peacock just to imitate the hump that the pupa naturally have, the crown pupa naturally have.
Oh, okay.
And so we're just going to tie that off. And so the beauty of this fly is that it's got a heavy bead. That tungsten bead sinks really fast. So the bead makes the fly sink fast. It's silver, it's quite shiny, and it's a bit of an attractant. And then having a bead-headed fly, the fly just undulates a little bit more when it's being retrieved.
And it gets down there in a hurry.
And this is for people who don't want to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Like me.
That's right. That's right. And then we just trim this, the antenna or the gill just a little bit and flare them. That's the finished fly.
Thanks for the time.
You're welcome, Don.
Why don't we take that one and get back out there?
Sounds good.
Maybe you could tie up a couple more.
Yeah, I thought you were
The
going to.
way I'm losing them.